Howdy, friend. Sam Houston here, hoping you're living in high cotton. And if you're lucky enough to be in Texas, I know you're most of the way there. Now enjoy your daily dose of Texas history and Texas pride.
Howdy, friend. Welcome back to the Feed Bandit podcast and your Texas History Roundup for October 9th. In 1835, Texian recruits, led by George M. Collingsworth and Benjamin R. Ben Milam, and supported by others, forced the capitulation of the Mexican forces holding the fort at Goliad just before midnight. Invading Mexican forces under General Martin Perfecto de Cos had recently resupplied the fort, but Cos had left only a small contingent to hold on to the fort when he and his main force marched for San Antonio. In 1847, famous Texas Ranger Samuel H. Walker died in a skirmish with Mexican troops near Perote Castle, where he had once been a prisoner. Walker came to Texas in 1842 and, late that year, was captured during the Meyer expedition. He survived the Black Bean episode and imprisonment in Perote. After joining the Rangers in 1844, he formed his own company under Major General Zachary Taylor in April 1846. During a recruitment trip to New York, Walker visited Samuel Colt's factory in New Jersey, and Colt later credited Walker with improvements to his existing revolver, which became known as the Walker Colt. In 1848, Walker's remains were moved from Mexico City to San Antonio and reinterred in the Old Fellows Cemetery. His remains were subsequently moved to Waco in 1995. In 1875, white-bearded Nelson Cooney Mitchell, the patriarch of the Mitchell clan, was hanged in Granbury. A land dispute had initiated the Mitchell-Truitt feud in 1874, and in a gun battle between the factions, 2 of the Truitts were killed, with Mitchell being accused of the killings. In 1886, 11 years after he was hanged, James Truitt was shot in his home in Timpson, and Mitchell's son Bill was accused of the killing. After being hunted for years, Bill was captured in New Mexico in 1905 and convicted in 1910. He escaped from the penitentiary, however, and was not heard of again. Now that would be an interesting story to create a little show on. I know I say that about a few of these things as we go through them, but I think that one would be. In 1885, Laureen C. Anderson, who had come to Texas from Tennessee in 1879, became principal of Prairie View Normal Institute, now university, and held the office for 17 years. Anderson helped form and was the first president of the Colored Teachers State Association. He moved to Austin in 1898, where for 32 years he served as principal at the high school for blacks, which was later named Anderson High School in his honor. Anderson died in Austin in 1938 and is buried at Austin's Oakwood Cemetery. The current Anderson High School is also named in Anderson's honor. And finally, in 1999, the Houston Astros played their last game in the Astrodome, 34 years after their first game there in 1965. In 2000, they began playing at Enron Field, which is later renamed Minute Maid Park. The Astrodome ceased being used in 2008, and parts were demolished in 2013, but the main structure is protected as a historical landmark. Yeah, I remember going to a few games in the Astrodome back in the day. Very cool. All right, folks. Well, that was your Texas History Roundup for October 9th. Come back here tomorrow for the next one. Really appreciate you listening. All right, you take care.
Well, there you have it. If you like our podcast, check us out at feedbandit.com. There you'll find awesome Texas First outdoors gear and apparel. Your purchase helps support the Bandits and keeps this podcast on the air, fighting for you and for Texas. Remember, preserve the tradition, protect the legacy. Until next time.